First kick, I snap into action. When I'm digging in the trenches, get dominated off the line of scrimmage. Read and react quick to make it early diagnosis. Hit you with the quick release like Marino Danny dopeness. Explosive change of direction in the true essence of Reggie Bush. From JT and ZT to DVP and AVG. Terminator to a quarterback, Hunter JP. Steve Ross, the boss, King Flo, and card slinging, gambling genius, slick Chris Greer.
Good morning to all you Dolphin fans out there, aka Dolph fans. I hope you're having a great Monday morning. Welcome to Dolphins Daily, presented to you by Dolphins Thirsty. I'm Rob Mosley, and you're about to see Justin of Digging in the Trenches. Justin,
What's
good morning.
What up, all y'all? Dolphin JK, Garrett, love to have you guys here. Good morning to all you out there in Dolphins land. It's another fantastic day, Monday, here to talk, obviously, aqua and orange with you guys. Me and Rob here about to, talk a little bit of Dolphins with you. There's some news to talk about. Rob, what you think? What you think coming down the pipeline there?
Yeah, next week, this time next week, Fangio should be officially official. I mean, it's kind of official now, but after the Super Bowl, that would be officially official, and that's going to be really good. And then offensive line coach, we may get some news, or we may not get some news, but hopefully that falls down. And then more or less that. And then I think we got a couple spots, like defensive backs coach spot available. So Fangio may have someone in mind he would bring in that he's worked with in the past. I know your buddy Gino dropped the name that used to be the Vikings DC, that he could be Donatello, I think.
Yeah, Ed Donatello.
Guy that worked with Fangio in the past. So that was just all speculation. He said, I don't know, but he said, he's just trying to connect names that have worked together in the past.
Oh, absolutely. So, not only that, he's kind of right. They've worked together. But at the same point in time, like I read an article too where something like Patrick Surtain said if he was offered a job somewhere else, he wouldn't even have taken it. He wants to stay in Miami. You still have Patrick Surtain, Sam Addison, who I know that Fangio will they'll work well together.
Surtain's in FSU, but right, we still got Sam Madison.
Is he? Did he leave already?
Yeah, he left. Yeah.
Oh, well, damn.
He went to the FSU. Yeah, he went to the FSU.
If he went to FSU, then we lost one guy, but at least we kept one out of Madison and Surtain. Yeah. But he said he wouldn't take a job, I guess, in the NFL, but I guess a college job came along. And
that's what he said. He said he wouldn't have taken a job, even if it was like, he said if it was another university outside of Florida, he wanted to take in it, but it just keeps him close enough to home.
That's what it is. He wants to stay home. Hey, I can't knock him.
To use him in the off season a lot as a recruiter down here, so he can be down here a lot anyway. So, he would hit the South Florida market for the young high school.
That's awesome. Like, I didn't know that. Honestly, I really didn't.
Yeah. He left, but that's fine. It's all good. Sam.
Well, that opens up a spot. Opens up a spot for Donatel then.
Right, and then there's another defensive back that they let go at the same time as. They let go of Boyer. So
the Stephen Gregory, I think it was.
Yeah, so we will see how they fill those spots. But yeah, no huge news coming. At least this year we're not in the market like Arizona looking. Arizona fans now are refreshing their phones every minute to see who the new head coach. Looking like Flores is a strong candidate there in Arizona. So Flores may be there. Which that'd be a good experiment because he didn't get great with Tua. How is he going to get with Kyler Murray, who's kind of has a reputation to also not being a dedicated all the time around the clock guy? Which those rumors. I don't know if it's true on Tua, of course, but those are kind of the rumors that Flores leaked out. The Dolphins had their dirt leaking out. Flores had his dirt, like, oh, Tua didn't take it serious on what you need to do as a winning quarterback. But those are the same stories we hear on Kyler Murray. So that'd be an interesting marriage out there to see how those two get along.
It's true. I don't know the truth whether or not he takes it seriously or not, or it's all just football, which I'm sure for Tua he has a little bit in his life. Like he likes to play his guitar, his ukulele and all that stuff, right? Yeah. So he has other things that he does in life, like the thing that really sold me on Tua, especially last year, is if you caught that Duke Riley interview with him in the middle of the season when Duke Riley's like, man, Tua's such a good guy, man. He's so down to earth, and like how he was talking about Tua, it made me like him even more because it's like that's the guy you want to play quarterback. You know what I mean? Like you don't want him to have this big ego. I kind of like it that he doesn't get on social media and stuff like that a lot. I kind of like that. But
I like that too. I like that a lot too. Hey,
Lewis Howery, he's like, oh, Murray's a bust. Yeah, I
he
don't
is
know
so
about all
far.
that. I don't know. We'll see. It's a
Justin
little
always gives
early.
his guys time because he knows not everyone just flies from the beginning. Sometimes birds take a little practice before they start flying. So
Right.
that's
I
why
know that.
you always take. Oh, that's a pretty good reference considering he's a cardinal about
Yeah,
flying.
exactly.
But
Honestly,
Lewis,
I don't give up too early on these guys. Like he's a little bit younger. I know he's got a knock on him that he's the size of a Smurf and things like that, but he has a baseball background, played baseball, obviously. I give these guys just a little bit of a chance. If you put him in a different offense that had better protection, it might work a little different. But hey, who's to say? Like he's in the Kingsbury's offense, which is where he was in college. So if he can't do it here, hell, he might not be able to do it at all. So
yeah,
maybe he likes
he
Call
likes.
of Duty too much. It's true. It's true. He likes to play video games. Maybe he needs to concentrate on football, right?
Yeah. Well, Lewis, we're jealous of you anyway. Your team's about to play in the Super Bowl, and any guys that are in here, give us your Super Bowl prediction. Are there
Yeah,
any
definitely.
like any fun prop bets that you've seen this year, Justin, or you haven't looked into them yet? Like how many scores, like a touchdown first or coin
Oh,
toss him in?
they'll have all kinds of fun prop bets going out there, from who scores the first touchdown to how many people score, or if he'll score multiple TDs. I haven't really looked because it's not that close to the game yet. I look closer when it gets, to the game time, and then I might make a couple. But
Yeah,
the prop bets are hard.
maybe by Friday's show, have some funny like prop bet seed.
Yeah, I
Maybe
could
you can
find
do a
something.
little research since you're my gambling man there.
Yeah, I'll
Do a
find
little
something in
research
there.
and see.
Right? Pluck the Eagles, right? I'm sure you're going hard for Mahomes' second ring.
Garrett thinks the
Garrett,
Eagles are going to win, so we got.
it's going to be a great game. Like
Yeah, no, it is. It should be a good game. I don't
Eagles
see all
have
the
a
hype
lot.
yet, just because I don't. Now if it's the Dolphins, I'd be watching all the hype all week. But when it's not your team, you're just kind of like, all right, I'll wait till Sunday to get into it.
Exactly.
But hopefully one day it's like the Dolphins and we'd be eating up all the Super Bowl hype leading
That'd
up to
be
the game. I'm sure
that'd be
Lewis
nice.
can't get enough information.
Oh,
He's
I'm
like,
sure, dude. I'd be every second on the phone, like, yeah, what's going on? You know what I
yeah,
mean? But honestly,
I
it's
know.
crazy.
I think they flew out last night, and
Yeah.
they hit it out to Arizona now, both teams. So
Right.
they're going to
Did
be.
you hear the statistics that the Philadelphia Eagles had 3 sacks away from tying the all-time Chicago Bears record?
Oh wow!
I couldn't even believe it, man. I was like,
We're gonna
what?
find out, Lewis. Don't get over. It's okay for a fan to be over. You're not stepping onto the field, but I don't know. The Eagles are good. We keep on knocking the Eagles off, but they find ways to win, and because that's what I was saying all year. They haven't really played any great teams, but they're there in the Super Bowl.
They are, but I kind of agree. Like, I don't think they've played anybody like overbearing, and they handled the Niners quite well the other day on their own field. But the thing that they're different that blows me away was their defense. They can keep guys fresh up front. if they only finished 3 sacks away from the all-time record, that means they had 69 sacks, dude, or 68 sacks or something like that. That's unreal, bro. Like, that's unreal. You got to have depth down there in order to do that, to keep guys fresh. I wish the Dolphins were doing something like that. If you had fresh legs, you might be able to get there one day. But we'll see. We'll see, man. I think
they have more than twice the number of sacks basically than what we had this year as a team.
They did.
So
it's crazy.
We got a lot of practice to do, man. We got a lot.
It's true. It's true what Lewis just said right there too. And the Niners had a 4-string quarterback too. So yeah, they haven't really played anybody yet. Like, as far as that goes, is like, really, real good. Patrick Mahomes is next level good, you guys. Crazy, right? The Eagles consulted by Fangio, not blitz heavy, almost tied the record for sacks. Bingo. So that's kind of what I'm hinting at, is if we can get some of that mixed into our system with the personnel that we have, I think the Dolphins can get up into the 68, 70 sack range. I don't see a reason why they can't. Go add another guy who can help add to that for like a linebacker. Man, you might have something.
And that's what Garrett's 100% right. Fangio is over his course. He's one of the least blitzing. Like Flores' school of defensive is like one of the heavier blitz. And that's where Boyer came from. So it's going to be a different look for sure. We're going to not blitz as much. So, which is good. That's fine. And I think some guys will benefit from it. And we're just gonna have to make sure, have the good coverage and get natural pressure on the quarterback, and hopefully, we're having
Like you
some
said right
next
there,
year.
look, Cowboys hung 40 on them. Mahomes is miles better than Dak. I agree wholeheartedly. Then Garrett's like, make that quarterback hold the dang ball. Like, it's going to be a great game. Like, it's going to be a cat and mouse game. Just remember, Mahomes is, I think he's won one. This will be Hurts's first.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
storyline, if
Mahomes
I don't know
won
if you,
one, lost one in the
yeah,
Super Bowls. This
yep.
is his third Super Bowl though at a young age. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. He's been to 3 of them, right? And he's got one on his resume that he's won. I don't know if you've read into any of the storylines that like ESPN's talking about, but they've been beating the hell out of it. It's unprecedented times where we're having 2 black quarterbacks face off in a Super Bowl versus one another. It's never happened before. Shout out to the first black quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl. What was it? Doug Williams,
Yeah,
I think.
Doug Williams.
Yeah, Doug Williams. I remember that Super Bowl quite well, and I was like, "Oh my God, they're gonna win this thing!" It was awesome. So it's unprecedented times we're living in. It's great to have these 2 facing off against each other. It's going to be an awesome damn game. I'm kind of getting more fired up as we talk about it, just because it's going to be such a great game. But I'm still kind of fired up about that FanDuel kick that Gronk's supposed to kick during halftime. I want to see what's going to happen with it. I want to see
how
if it's
many
really
yards
going to
is
happen.
it going to be? I know you keep on telling me about it, and I haven't.
I think it's a 35-yard kick. Oh, they keep going. They're hammering that damn commercial, bro. I think it's a 35-yard kick or something like that. But I'm just interested to see whether or not he's even going to attempt the kick or not. Like, he has to, you would think, if they're advertising for it like that. But I'm interested to see if that happens or not. Obviously, you'll have the Super Bowl commercials, which are always good. I can't believe we get hyped for commercials, but they'll be funny. There'll probably be some funny ones in there. Did Cordell Stewart ever win one? I don't think so. I don't think so, man. I don't know. Never watched that game. Or did Williams play the best half he ever has? Yeah, man, that was a great game, dude. Like, some of those Super Bowls back in the day are awesome. Like, I give a shout out to Old Football Tapes or Old Football 101, something like that on Twitter. He always has great old school football tapes rolling up there. Like, he doesn't own the rights to any of them, obviously the NFL does, but damn, there's always such great ones up there from the 70s, the 60s, the early 80s. Like, go check him out.
And Lewis, speaking of a guy named Williams on your very team, man, back in the day when you guys won that Super Bowl, to me, Damian Williams.
Oh, yes. Yeah, man. He should have.
Kudos to Mahomes and whatever, but man, Damian Williams really was a true MVP of that game. And the only reason I said, hey, hello, Adam, good morning to you. Fins up.
Definitely, and man.
Welcome to the room again, Adam.
But I agree with you, Rob. That was an awesome Super Bowl, and Damian Williams should have been the MVP. I think he had like 95 yards. Each one of those yards was hard earned. He had a couple first downs in the game that were key in the Super Bowl. I remember watching that Super Bowl like it was yesterday. I was like, damn, Damian Williams should be MVP. I said the same thing.
I know. And it stood out to me because he was a former Dolphin, Damian Williams. I'm like, man, how can we let this cat go? And he's like, they're doing awesome in Kansas City. But it was just one of those numbers game again for Miami.
It was.
That happens.
It does. And it always happens to us. But, oh, well, you got to get over the hump. Look at Kansas City. They stuck and took Andy Reid from Philly. Isn't that kind of ironic, man? Now they're going to go against each other in a Super Bowl, right? They took – he went from Philadelphia to Kansas City. Now they're going to face off in a Super Bowl against each other, this former team. Not making matters even worse, too. Then you got the 2 brothers. I'm calling it the Eyebrow Bowl because you got the Kelsey brothers are going to be in it. Travis Kelce versus his brother Jason Kelce. They have that podcast. But if you remember, Jason told a story about going to practice against the Dolphins and how he was talking all kinds of crap and he wasn't even going to practice. And Jalen Phillips was like, hey, shut up, eyebrows. You're not even practicing today. Yeah. So that's why I call it the eyebrow ball, because both of them have those big old thick caterpillars for eyebrows.
And I know. Thank you, Justin. I didn't want to buy. No, I just wanted to feel. I think he was a backup, though, right? Wasn't Brad Johnson the Super Bowl that year? I don't know. I don't remember.
Brad Johnson did win it.
I'm much better on Dolphins history. But I think Sean King may have been a backup, but he was on the team. He has a Super Bowl ring, I know, because I saw
I
an
know that
interview.
Brad Johnson definitely won a Super Bowl
Yeah, and I think
with
he
the
may have been the
Buccaneers.
backup that year too,
Sean
Brad
King
Johnson. But he
probably
definitely
was.
has a
Yep.
Super Bowl ring. I saw him in an interview, so I know that
Oh,
for
he's
sure.
got one, and it came with John Gruden and the Buccaneers when they traded for him from the Raiders to the Bucs. That's when they won that ring. Yep. Which was run off of defense as well. So, see, defense is key, man. You got to have a great defense. Great defense that can give the ball back to the offense, and maybe you'll get another chance to score.
Yeah, that's a good part of the rivalry right there. I know that the whole coaching tree. I mean, the whole coaching connection with Philly and Kansas City is
Yep, and they both want to stick it to each other. See, he's right, dude, and that's what makes it more intriguing. It gave it a storyline. That's great storyline. Honestly, it's like a good coach that honestly a lot of people wish they had. I remember when Andy Reid was thought of as like not a good coach, you guys. I remember when people were like, I don't think he's ever going to get over the hump. I don't think he's that good of a coach.
I know.
He can't win the big one with McNabb. He's never going to win. I remember all this talk, dude. I'll never forget. And then they got over the hump, and now he's with Patrick Mahomes. They're married together. That's how I see it. They're doing pretty good. Maybe they just
look it up, Garrett. I admit I'm not as strong as other teams as I am with knowing my Dolphin path, but I'll look it up. He may have won as a starter in the NFC Championship.
Who, Sean King?
Yeah.
I don't know about that one, but I know for a fact that Johnson definitely has a Super Bowl.
I know, that's what I said.
For a fact.
So I'll look it up later and let you know, Garrett, or you can look it up. I don't know, but I look it up I hate looking up things while I'm on the computer and I'm distracted. Right. You could be saying anything and I would be letting you run.
Right. So, who knows what's going to happen too? Like you were just talking about coaches a little earlier about the Arizona job opening. I think the Colts, don't they also have a coach opening, a coaching vacancy? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm right. So they're still looking for a coach as well.
I don't know, because I know the Broncos filled theirs.
That's done. Yep, that's done. I told you that was what's going to happen. Remember me? I told you even before it happened. Yep. I was like, "Watch, Sean Payton will be the Broncos."
And the Texans filled theirs, but is the Panthers and all those still open? I believe so. Like the Panthers and the
I don't think they've made a head coaching spot either. So that's 3 right there. Let me see. Don't all three need quarterbacks as well? So
I know. Well, that's always a common denominator. And that 2000 Ravens defense was crazy good.
Oh, bro.
That's why Trent Dilfer has a Super Bowl ring.
That's why.
It's hard to believe that Trent Dilfer and not Dan Marino has a Super Bowl ring.
Don't do that to me.
Brad Johnson's always mentioned, and the people can you believe Brad Johnson has a,
but that defense, the 2000 Ravens defense, is one of the best defenses ever to play the game, honestly, besides that 85 Bears defense. Yeah, Alvaro signed with the Panthers as a DC. I did see that. That was breaking news yesterday. That's the former young defensive coordinator from the Denver Broncos, who was dialing up the plays last year. He's got a bright future, I think, ahead of him. One day he might even be a head coach candidate. So keep your eyes open for that guy. We'll see. But damn, what a defense that really was. Now that you start talking about that defense, I can't even believe how good it really was. Deion Sanders, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed. Oh, my God, dude. Tony Saragusa. They had everything, dude. Now, defenses like that, dude, when they come out, you're like, oh, this is going to be a problem. And when you know it and then you're looking at it, even before they start playing and they start playing and they start doing what you thought they could do on paper, then it's a problem,
they were a special bunch.
Like you go watch 2 games, it's like fishing, you know what I mean? You're like, you catch one, you're like, okay, cool, I caught one. Then you catch 2, you're like, oh, wait a minute. Then you catch 3, you're like, this is a trend. It's the same thing when you watch them play a football game. You're like, damn, they dominated. Oh, they did it again this week. Oh, they're 3 weeks in a row. Watch out for that team. I want to know why Peyton took the Denver job, got no first-round picks for the entirety with the bad quarterback contract. Yeah, your guess is as good as mine, man. Honestly, I don't know.
You never know. Russell Wilson, we'll see if he bounces back this year. That's their only hope, that he bounces back to somewhat form like he has played in the past. But if he's shot, if that's the Russell Wilson we see moving forward from now on, then that's going to be awful. It was awful this year.
It was really bad, but you can't take the ball out of your Hall of Fame quarterback's hands on 4th and 5. when you're trying to, win the game. You got to put it in his hands and allow him to be who he is. You got to allow him to break the pocket and use his intangibles. That's one of the things about Russell Wilson that makes him deadly is once he scrambles outside of the box.
And
you don't know what's going to happen.
Payton will understand this concept.
Oh, he should. He should easily.
Because he knew that Drew Brees, to a degree, was limited in what he could do. But he
Sure.
just designed a team around them to do what Drew Brees does well, get the ball down, protect him and have him chuck the ball around.
It's crazy when you look at the Broncos offense. Like I was just in their building recently and watched them play a game. I watched them play the last game versus the Chargers. But I'll be honest with you, man, their offense reminds me of the Dolphins offense from like 2020. And you remember that offense we had where we couldn't get out of our own way. The running backs couldn't run through. Yeah, not much to remember. No team speed, so you had no separation at your wide receiver position. That's the Broncos, bro. They got no team speed. They got one dude over there that's fast on their offense, and that's Hamler. Sutton's really not that fast. Judy's more smooth and quick than fast. So it's I don't know. It's weird. Denver had a top 5 defense. Exactly. That's my whole point. If you had an offense to mix with that and you had team speed with them, they would be deadly, bro. If they had the offense the Dolphins had last year, the Broncos would have been in the playoffs. That's just me being spit shooting out there. They would actually be competitive. We scored enough points. They scored man, if you look at their average, I think they only averaged 16 points a game. We were averaging 23 something.
Yeah, so
I'm
that's
sure
a big difference.
That's huge difference.
Especially with that defense. Yeah, the defense that they have. So yeah, I mean Denver definitely. I mean they might, they could be a candidate for a surprise turnaround next year if Payton's as good as advertised. And if
they could. Who's calling the defensive plays now though? See.
Well, they will. I know Flores was up for it, but Flores may get the Cardinals job, so he's not going to take a DC job, obviously. So it's who knows?
Oh, it's a good one right here. I got to put this comment up. What you all think of the Pro Bowl? I thought it was dumb. Yes, very stupid. I think they should just can it all together. I was going to bring that up. I'm glad you brought it up, Lewis, and I didn't have to. I caught a little bit of the skills competition. I happened to come right in when Derek Carr kind of came in there and won the skills competition, throwing it around. And, and then he said, guess what? He said they interviewed him right after, and he said, oh, you did pretty good. He's like, yeah, I guess I'll be doing it somewhere else next year.
Yeah, I know I did like that. That was a good
That's
line.
the only part I caught. And I was just like, wow, I guess there's intrigue behind it. But I think it's dumb. I don't think they should cancel that thing altogether if that's the way it's going to be. Because
I think that's how you're going to see it moving forward. I mean, the flag football was okay, but it's just
I did see too that Tyreek Hill got himself jacked up on the sideline by Jalen Ramsey, and everybody should not. I don't like that. That's why I think that game needs to be I don't like it, man. Someone could get hurt, and then it could be us having a guy we lose. So hell no.
I like that back in the day too when they had Dan Marino used to kick butt at that QB challenge.
Oh yeah, that was cool. Yeah. I remember seeing tapes of Dan Marino hitting that long pass all the time too. That long deep one, no problem.
Those were fun. Those fun, and they kind of sprinkled that into the Pro Bowl. But yeah, they could do more stuff like that and just have fun. But
they should do more skill challenges if they want to. They need to watch the NHL All-Star game and then take a number out of that one and bring it to the Pro Bowl, because they bring a real skills challenges into that one, like the fastest slap shot, the skills challenge where they hit the pucks in the net. They need to do more of that with football. So,
and if all you guys love, I don't know hockey, and he knows it. That's why Justin won't talk hockey to me. But he loves hockey on Saturdays. If you ever want to bring up hockey, come talk to Justin on Saturdays at 12 noon. Every Saturday, he would talk any sports.
Hockey.
I'm such a non-hockey fan. I didn't even know that the hockey All-Star game was my backyard until it was happening. They said, "Oh, the All-Star game's here." I'm like, "Wow, I didn't even know it was right here in South Florida this year." So that's how much I pay attention to hockey. I don't even know. The most famous
it's crazy
player knock on my door right now and said, "Hey, my car is broken." I wouldn't even recognize,
really?
Recognize them. That's just it. I couldn't even name the most famous hockey player. I'm a
most famous hockey player.
Baseball, I could tell you the big name guys. And
right now, you should definitely know the most famous.
Hockey, I've just never really followed.
You never heard of Alex Ovechkin?
Well, that name. The only reason I named him because your guy, that Zeke guy on on Twitter. That's like his favorite guy, I guess.
That's because that dude's going for the record now. He's trying to chase Wayne Gretzky's
I thought he
all-time
may be a
scoring
retired
record.
player for all I knew.
No, he's in it. He's almost. I think he's almost 40, if not in his 40s. But he's going for the record right now. And he's
okay. See, Wayne Gretzky. I know that name. I know Wayne Gretzky, and how about it? That's it. When it comes to my hockey, I'm very limited, and
he was one of the best.
Some names because I listen to local sports talk here, but it just goes in one. I'm probably not. I'm just driving, and I don't even pay attention. It's just like blah blah, like Charlie Brown, blah 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 blah.
It goes one in here and out the other.
Like
so if you were to take the by the numbers and the age, honestly, the Colorado Avalanche have a young man named Nathan McKinnon who's on pace to be kind of doing what Ovechkin's doing right now. If he can stay healthy, he might come close to getting that record. Here's a good one too right here. What does it say? God don't want to end the season on a Super Bowl loss. That AFC Championship loss last year was a bitter way to lose. Was a long off season. Oh, I bet, buddy. I bet you that one was a killer, especially the way it went back and forth and everything like that.
Sure listen, Lewis, two Dolphin fans don't want to hear you complain about a long off season. our off seasons are longer than yours. Every year we got extra weeks that we're out. At least you play up till the last minute normally.
Exactly. Well, you can do that when you got guys like that on your team. You know what I mean? They've built it the correct way. I'd envy to have a team that's that good. Like I watched them do that one play, dude, where they did the snow globe play, and I was like, oh, why can't we do cool things like this? See, and it's like I get jealous all just watching their offense run. And what it brings me back to is how much time they've had together. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like Mahomes and Andy Reid. I think they're going on like year 7, something like that, year 6, whatever it is they're in. I'd love to see Tua and Mike McDaniels in a year 6 of an offense. And, of course you have ups and downs, but I'd love to see that because you would be getting
Tua healthy for 1 year for our first goal. Let's take one step at a time.
Top right Tua. Keep that top right Tua popping. You definitely want to.
Well, I don't think they would do that in the Super Bowl, man. I don't know. He's saying that you're ring around the rosy thing, whatever they did there.
Yeah, they called it snow globe. Honestly, I hope they do. I hope they do it too, and I hope they do like something different too, because they're very innovative. They're not scared to try something new, and they have everything to do it. You guys, I'm not playing running backs, receivers, tight ends. I wouldn't doubt to see a tackle eligible play on the goal line and a tackle catching a pass in the Super Bowl. Watch, Lewis.
Oh, I know. I mean, the Eagles did the Philly special a few years ago. So, people do all kinds of tricks to.
If the Eagles try that play in the Super Bowl, I'm going to say this right now. Sorry to cut you off. But if the Eagles try that Philly special in the Super Bowl, I'm calling it right now. Kansas City's going to pick it off, take it to the house. Don't try that on the goal line. Don't try that on the goal line. I'm going to tell you right now, don't do it.
Why did you think they'd be ready for it?
Yeah, I think Spagnuolo would be like, oh, yeah, come on, bring that French dip shit over here. And I guarantee you they pick it off. Don't do it. Don't try it. Reid has never lost after a bye. You know what? That's a sign of a good coach. I'm sure he has the same strategy I have every season as his too. Win to start the season, win going into a bye, and win coming out of a bye. That's a successful signs of a season right there. It gives you 3 right off the bat. Boom, boom, boom.
No, it's definitely the way to roll and stuff. And
dude, he's such a good coach. Honestly, he's a great coach. Like anybody who thought Andy Reid wasn't a good coach, watch how he like makes everything work for his team. Like talk about getting the best out of your players. Go watch Andy Reid coach. He really does. He gets the best out of like McKinnon. I'll use the Jerick McKinnon kid as a perfect example. He's a former quarterback, like he knows the blocking schemes. He knows like the check down parts when it's going to be open the most. He's good with the ball in his hands after he catches it. He's a decent running back. These are the guys you want to build your team around. People who are smart like that. According to the Eagles, he sucks.
Yeah, I know. The Eagle fans hated him.
Yeah,
it's worked out. I guess both franchises has worked out well. The Eagles have won a Super Bowl, and they're in. So it's sometimes moving on works out for both parties. It worked for Andy Reid getting to Kansas City, getting a Super Bowl, and it worked for the Eagles. They still won the Super Bowl, and now they're back
It's
again.
true. It's very true, man. Look, if I wouldn't be complaining if the Dolphins could just get one damn Super Bowl. We even
I
go
know.
to a Super Bowl, dude. You'll see me crying and all happy. We win one, man. I'll be. Oh, you won't. Oh, you'll never hear me shut up.
Because the Eagles did get to one with Reed. They just didn't win it. And that was like, McNabb was, I guess, not doing well either. He was sick or something or whatever. I forget. It's just like he wasn't doing all that great. And then,
Oh, I remember that Super Bowl. That was the one where Terrell Owens played it on a broken leg and came in there, and I think he played well too, from what I remember. They
yeah,
should have won,
yeah, it was
but
Tyrell. I know. Yeah, the Eagles, the fans, yes, they're a rough group, the Eagles fans, that's for sure. But like I
oh
said,
yeah.
hey, Ender in the
Ender, what's
house.
up, buddy?
Good morning, Ender. Welcome.
Ender in the house.
Everything's awesome, Ender. Anything new with you, Ender? Any news that you're seeing out there in the Twitterverse? Because we're in here.
I seen that the Dolphins actually did, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they did do an interview with Mike Munchak. So I think they've already talked to Mike.
That'd
If
be a
you
good
don't,
offensive line coach.
oh, dude, it'd be the one that I want right now. I've been pounding the table for someone like Mike Munchak for 5 years. If you guys don't know by now, my co-host Reggie Brown, Doc, is a former teammate of Mike Munchak. Played with him at Houston for the Oilers. Speaks very highly.
On Saturdays.
I'm talking about my co-host on Saturdays of the Pro Show, Reggie Brown. Played with Mike Munchak. I mean, he told me a lot about Mike. Mike would be perfect for this job. Me and Reggie have been talking behind the scenes about how this is the guy we want to get the job, and I have been for years. Mike Munchak gets this job, you will get the best out of Austin Jackson you could possibly get. You know what I'm saying? Liam Eichenberg, same damn thing. Like my wife, she's from New York, a huge Yankees fan. She's the annoying Yankees type of fan. It's an East Coast thing. Definitely, bro. It really is an East Coast thing.
Hey, I'm an East Coast person myself here. But yes, it's funny in baseball. The reason I threw that up there because in baseball, as you know, I'm a Boston Red Sox fan. So anytime that we can take a little dab at a Yankee fan being annoying, even if it's your wife, Louis, I have to throw it up there. So I know people that say we Red Sox fans are a little annoying, but I'm not from the Boston area. I'm from South Florida down here. And it's just there was no baseball team. I've told you yada, yada, yada. I've told you the story many times. But anyway, I chose a team. I chose the Red Sox out of the blue, and I've stuck with them ever since. So those are
your story is the same way as mine, like to being a baseball fan. Like I'm in Colorado, and you're like, oh, well, you're a Rockies fan. No, I'm not. I'm a San Francisco Giants fan. Because they didn't have the Rockies here when I was growing up watching baseball. They had the Cubs, they had the Mets, all that crap. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, no, I like Will Clark and Barry Bonds and all those guys. That was my team. That was over. It was over from there.
Well, the only Colorado team you really stick with is your hockey team because I know.
Well, the Nuggets. Yeah, when it comes to basketball and hockey, it's definitely the Nuggets and the Avs.
Hockey and basketball, you stick with your local team.
Baseball, exactly. Football, then I go across the country for both.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, it's all. Yeah, I know. Opposite ends of the country for sure.
It's nuts.
And hey, it's all good though.
I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah, I know. It's all fun. And like I say, baseball season to be here at least to help me because if you guys don't like baseball, then basketball is something that, basketball never passes time for me because I don't watch it. Hockey doesn't pass me because I don't want. So at least when baseball comes around, that would get me through the dog days of summer with no football and whatever because of course my family life. I recently retired, so I don't have the work that used to keep me busy 12 hours a day and all of that kind of stuff. So now just going to really be the first full off season of, not going to a 12-hour day to pass the time between work and whatever. So it's a little weird, but we'll see.
Are you kidding me? I didn't. What Lewis has said right there. No, Lewis, I didn't hear that. Hey, Patrick Mahomes owns stock in the team. I'm sure they could put that together for the Royals, but the Royals stink, man. They haven't been good in forever. So
they were good back in the George Brett days and all that stuff. Like
they're gonna get it. Oh my god. They're gonna get it because of Mahomes, man.
Yeah.
Yep, they haven't had a good team since today, like you were saying. Didn't you just mention that? Did you say George Brett? Did I hear that?
George Brett. Yep. Well, they did have one winning team somewhere after that, but it's like George Brett is like, they're awful, Lewis.
They are. They're terrible, man. They're no good.
Yeah, but I just hope my Red Sox aren't falling down that kind of day. Red Sox. Well, we'll see. Red Sox are in a tough division, but anyway, back to football. So this Friday, Justin, I'm putting you on the spot. You got a job outside of all your draft stuff that you do. You're gonna have to find some fun prop bets that we can cover on Friday.
All right.
Just some of them, obviously like the game itself, but see if there's any ones that you like a Kelsey scoring the first touchdown, or whoever, Jalen Hurts scoring the first touchdowns. Those are probably two most popular. So I don't know, and we will look at all of that kind of stuff. So sounds good. You're up to the challenge.
Oh yeah, I can come up with something like that. Like usually you'll have those ones like you mentioned right there. They might be for like Hurts scores the first touchdown, but it'll be like a -112. So you're like, it's probably going to happen, but it's not going to pay out real well. So you might want to string some of those together. I'll come up with something for all of us to play with, and of course I'll dabble my money in there as well. So
does hurt Mahomes? I would say I would lean. Oh, that's good. Is that the line? Over 300, the prop.
I'm sure that's somewhere near there, over 300 or over like 275. So I'm sure I would take that.
Yes, right now, but I know the Eagles can really get after people. But
I'm taking 300 if it's Mahomes and his name to it. That's a great bet. I would take it. Seriously, that's how I roll. If it's something like that, and I'm like, and it's in the Super Bowl, yeah, dude, I'm taking the 300 yards or over. I don't if it's for plus, I'll take it, or even for minus, because that's going to happen. So yeah, I would.
That's what I said. Yeah, it wasn't that long when they had a good team. I know that they weren't.
Oh, 2015. Okay, I remember now. It's been a minute. As a Giants fan, man, we used to win every other year for a while there, for like 6 years, 7-year span. We were winning that World Series every other year.
Hey,
so
listen, the Red Sox went 86 years, and I was part of that streak as being a fan of 86 years not winning a World Series. But then they won in 2004. 2007, 2013, and 2018.
And that was nice for you, right? After that,
those are great. So they've done. So the Red Sox at least have made me happy as a fan over the years. Now it's the
Dolphins haven't.
The Dolphins' turn is to give me,
Oh, bro, look at that. He brought up my boy. Yeah, Bumgarner was that stud. Oh, my God. Yeah, he was. That's why they won a lot of those World Series, is that guy right there, Madison Bumgarner, is because we had a dominant lefty that would come in there and just mow people down. And you got into a game like a clinching match with a Madison Bumgarner, say, game 5, game 6. I'm taking Madison because he's going to win it, dude. Like, he's not going to let them get hits and hit home runs.
Anyone a little more up on all the free agents? Does anyone on the Eagles or the Chiefs? I'm imagining what he
have expiring contracts. Is that what he's asking? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, bro. Dude, half their team has got expiring contracts. But the guys I'm really interested in on the Eagles would be T.J. Edwards, Kaiser White, the guard, the Isaac Suamatu. I'm interested in him for sure. And any other lineman they got on their team that's going to be a free agent, we're interested in. I think one of their running backs also is in a contract season. I want to say it's Miles Sanders. Don't quote me on that. I might be wrong. I would be interested in any of those players that I've talked about right there on the Eagles, especially the linebackers. Chiefs have a lot in 1-year contracts. Oh, I know they do. But
that's a good thing about when you're winning. Players will sign a 1-year contract to help chase that ring, and
Yep.
They may get paid up front, and
it's
that's
true.
Good.
Bieniemy is the OC there. Yes, he is for now. Like, I've heard him. He's been doing some interviews for spots here and there. I've been interested in that name as an offensive coordinator now for the last 4 or 5 years, just like Fangio. If we didn't have who we have, Frank Smith in-house, I'm still interested in bringing Eric Bieniemy over here. If they could get Eric Bieniemy and
go for a same parallel job, but it has to be where he gets to call plays, and because that's the knock on him. They say in Kansas City, he doesn't call the play, so he hasn't gotten his love yet. So
I'll tell you this. Go ahead.
But no, it's just saying. So I'm reading that they will, because a lot of times they will block a move if it's just a lateral position, offensive coordinator to offensive coordinator. But they're saying they're going to let him interview for offensive coordinator jobs in other locations.
I'll be honest with you right now. I'll say this right now with all conviction in my heart. Love me some Eric Bieniemy. If the Dolphins had a chance to get him, Frank Smith, love you, but bye. Seriously, dude, I'd take Eric Bieniemy right now. The reason why is because of the snow globe plays and things like that. He's got.
But McDaniel be willing
to give up his play calling abilities?
That's
I
it.
don't
That's the
know
only thing
about
that would,
I don't know about all of that.
I know that's why that's the only reason the bass jumping is he feels shadow and right. That's it. That's the problem. And then he doesn't even call the play because everyone knows that Reed's calling the plays, which that was a knock on our boy McDaniel too, because Shanahan calls the play, but the offense were looking for it. Inexperienced coach again we brought in and we got him in, but that was a knock on him too. So some people thought Bimini might be that
See,
guy.
now, like how it's a knock. However, like, yeah, but the knocks on him is he doesn't call plays because he hasn't had a chance yet to call the plays. I think the experience that he's gained being under Andy Reid's arm, under his wing for as long as he has, it's so invaluable, you guys. Like, I think he could call plays. I really do. And I think they'd be great. In fact, if it was me and I was Mike McDaniel, I think I'm better at being a head coach. He's did a pretty good job. You should bring in somebody like Eric Bieniemy and let him call the plays, because then it's taken more off of your plate that you can delegate to being a head coach.
Right, and paying attention to the clock and all of that.
All of that stuff. So, yeah, man, I honestly would be all for it. Anybody was like, but we don't want to fire for Cam Smith. Dude, it's Eric Bieniemy. He's going to be I would do it, man. It's worth the risk, in my opinion, if you could find some way to make it happen, which I doubt it will.
Yeah, I doubt it too. That's why I haven't even seen his name, because he wants to go somewhere where he can call the plays, because I guess in the interviews, that's what he gets knocked on. But Mike McDaniel got it, got the job of out calling the play, so it happens. But
bro, just what he said right here. Lewis, I agree. He just needs a chance either to prove it or fail, at least I just want to see it. So, yes, I'd like to see this dude get a chance to call plays. I don't care if it's for the Las Vegas Raiders. I just want to see this dude call plays for somebody, because I know it's going to be successful. Watch, mark my words. Yeah. He will be successful. But they have differing systems.
Yeah, they do, but he could adapt. He could adapt, good coaches. Well, he would learn our system, I'm sure. But, yeah, I mean, he would be better if he went to a system. But if it's a new offensive coordinator, they install new systems all the time. But, yeah, I don't know. But he could probably, in this case, it'd be him adapting to McDaniel. He could say, yeah, I can run that system.
I think it's something that he could do. But, they're not the same system by no means. Kansas City, you think our system's hard to call plays out and run, dude. Think about Kansas City's. I know their play call is innovative. I know the play calls are long. I guarantee it. So,
yep, for sure. We'll guys, see what happens. By the way, we're wrapping up here soon. I want to thank all you guys for coming in. We still got a couple more minutes, but I always forget to thank you guys. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. I know most of you already have for us, so thank you. Fins up to you. And Lewis, Chiefs up to you, whatever your guys saying is. Yeah. I know all the teams have that one. All those Native American teams have that. And yes, I guess. Yeah, he would be able to adjust for sure. Yeah, I agree with this one though. Two needs to stay in the same offense. We can't be having, so that's what I'm saying. I am with him 100% there.
I want to stay in the same offense for sure. Like, it's just a dream to get someone like Eric Bieniemy over there, because the play calling would be more innovative. But I think Mike McDaniels needs to get back to his roots. He's a run game coordinator. Because you have Tyreek and Jalen Waddle doesn't mean you just need to overserve them the ball. Like, I want to see us run the damn football. Run the football, you're going to take pressure off of your quarterback, who you're trying to protect anyway. And a good way to protect him is just to turn back there and hand it off.
Yeah, no, I agree. Sorry, guys, my dog wants in.
Oh, you're good, bro. Like, I know everyone's like,
I know we're almost at the end, but my dog's scratching at the door. But we're almost at the end anyway, so.
Leaving Wednesday. Oh, look at this. Are you going to the Super Bowl, Lewis? He said he's leaving Wednesday for Arizona. Oh, man, if you're going to that game, that's going to be epic, bro. Oh, congratulations, awesome, if you are, dude. I know you're going, Lewis. I know it. Dude, you're gonna have such a good time. It's gonna be so much fun.
Make sure to when they won. I don't know.
Make sure you come back on the show.
Because that was the COVID. The COVID Super Bowl.
Make sure you come on the show and share your experience with us, Lewis, because we want to hear it. I want to know your Super Bowl experiences here. Yeah, that's gonna be so cool, dude. Wow, what a great time. Whoa. Holy cow, bro. Is that a per ticket? Because my wife literally would be like, I come home, I'd be divorced with all my stuff out on the front porch.
Yeah. So that is That is awesome, though. If, like I said, hey, if you can do it, do it. That's it. You
Hell
only
yeah,
got one
bro.
go around at this thing, so if you
That's
can
right.
get it, go
Hell
do
yeah,
it, man.
man.
That's
Hell
awesome.
yeah.
I gotta see.
It
By the
is.
time the Dolphins get to the Super Bowl, robots would be playing the game or something. That's like
Yeah,
it's like forever. Who knows by the time the Dolphins get there what we're gonna be having. So we just
right.
see. It'll
Yeah,
all
I
be
think if we
virtual
could keep
reality or something.
if we could
It's just
keep
like
Tua in the same offense though, and actually put something around him, more protection around him, and a better semblance of a running game. I honestly think you're going to get a better product out on the football field than we think. Keep him upright, top right Tua. Keep this dude up, dude. We need to get more protection. We need tackles. We need another guard. Now we need two centers, in my opinion. I know everybody wants to keep Connor at center. That's fine. We can do that, but we need guards. We need help. We need people to block for this damn kid. I know we went from 32nd to 20 something overall in the offensive line, but the pass blocking grade is the one thing that just kills me. It really irks the hell out of me. You're 32nd. That's dead last. I'm glad. Matt Applebaum, maybe you were just a fall guy and all, but someone's head has to roll right there, bro, because of that grade. Tackles are so hard to find.
Yeah, there's only so many 6'7" guys, 6'5" guys, 300-pound wide wingspan walking around the planet.
Yep, he's right. And he's like, what he's saying right there is it's so true. It's because they're so hard to find. They just don't grow on trees no more. They're hard to find guys that can mirror dudes correctly that play in this league and actually keep them off of your quarterback from a speed rush aspect. And
a lot of those guys that are that big, they choose other sports like basketball now and all kinds of different stuff. So it's hard to get them to want to play football, get them to be a tackle. And it's
I think there's some coming out of this draft, bro. I'm not even going to lie. I know obviously the top ranked tackle on everyone's board should be Paris Johnson. Paris Johnson's game reminds me of Teron Armstead, like all the way, bro. When I look at Paris Johnson play, I'm like, damn, he looks moves just like Teron Armstead too. He's quite eerily similar. Their games kind of match up. I'm just going to keep coming back to this name that I'm telling you right now. Look out, be ready for it. It's going to happen. Matthew Bergeron from Syracuse. I'm telling you right now, this kid's going to be sneaky good, bro. He's going to be awesome. Yeah, you need a jersey.
Any more draft questions, hit him up, and he'll help you out the best he can. And, of course, if you need any gear, hook him up. But find him on Twitter. He can give you any inside draft information you want. He does a lot of good work behind the scenes in his own time. So thank you, Justin.
Oh, anytime, man. Anytime. Any day now, my Reggie Brown should be coming. My autographed Reggie Brown should be coming, and I'm gonna replace that Carson Green 54 jersey there in the background and put Reggie's up there. I can't wait till it comes in.
Yeah, most of those guys are gonna be long gone. He's just dreaming as far. He's just
are you talking about Matthew Bergeron be top 10? No, bro.
No, I think your first guy.
Paris Johnson, Paris Johnson definitely will be top 10. Yes, sir. He'll be gone. He'll be long gone. Let's see. Richard Salyer. The reason they don't do a lot of hitting drills like I did back in the 70s and 80s, and pros stopped doing it, and it's hurting the quarterbacks to do the O-line, don't practice for it. I agree wholeheartedly with you. Taking those practices away doesn't give them the repetition that they need at that, to get that kind of crispness that they need from that. I agree. It just doesn't, it's not the same game that was back in the 70s, 80s, 90s when they stopped that,
And by the way, welcome to the room, Richard. That's the first time comment from you in our room. I got to play whether you're a Dolphin fan or not. Here's a little, every time someone does a comment for the first time. Thank you, Richard. Make sure to hit that thumbs up.
Hit that like and subscribe button.
And thank you. Thank
you, guys. Paris
Johnson
Johnson definitely will be gone, Lewis. That dude will be long gone. But the Matthew Bergeron kid, I bet you he's available in the 2nd to 4th round. Who knows? There's a lot of good tackles in this draft. I will say that right now. It's one of those positions that's right up there with cornerback, right up there with running back. It's loaded, man. Tight end. There's a lot of good ones. There's not a lot of good guards so far, though, in the draft. Once that Cooper Beebe went down, it started to fall. Then Rob started telling me this guy's declaring, this guy's going back, to school. Yeah. So crap happens.
And that's awesome, Richard. I've been a fan since basically the Woodstock area, the AJ Dewey era. So you're lucky. You remember some of the Super Bowl days. I was 2 years and 3 years old when the Dolphins were in those Super Bowls and stuff that they won. So
That's
way too
awesome.
young to remember. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. You're like
Yeah.
the guy Steve that comes in here every so often. He's remembered from the beginning too.
No, that's great. Like I love you, Richard. Love to have guys old school like that that could come share your stories with us from back in the day, the 70s, 72 team. It's invaluable. Love it. Grew up in Hialeah down in Miami and played for the Miami Springs Senior from 78 to
Oh,
1980.
awesome.
That's awesome, bro. Much props to you. We'd love to have you here on our show and sharing your thoughts, your comments with us, and all of your football knowledge.
I'm
We
Southwest
appreciate
Miami High School here is where I went to school.
you. Right.
Not too far from the area, but a little bit different. I went to Southwest, but later than
Here's
that
another
time
one
frame.
right here from Lewis. Not much for quarterbacks either. No, you know what? You're right. Besides the top three, which is going to be C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, and Will Levis.
Up again, he left us right there on the last second every day. That's our brand. He always has to fall out. I let him come back in. If not, I would change my banner real quick. But anyway, thank you guys. We're about to wrap up anyway. That's a good sign to know. See, I was telling you. See, I was gonna say that's a sign. When you drop out, it's a time for us to wrap up our show. So,
It's getting there. But yeah, like I was saying, after those top three, I think there's a big drop off there. Everyone keeps talking about that Anthony Richardson kid from Florida. His name is being brought up quite a bit. It's all athletic ability and what he could be, not what he's done for Florida, but what he could be. So that stock rising, it's going to happen. He's going to go in the top. I don't see him going no less than top 15, that Richardson kid who I'm talking about. So there'll be all three of those guys go, and then he'll be there next. So, yeah, the quarterbacks isn't much to shake a stick at this year.
yeah.
Wasn't in much last year either. And he's right. There really wasn't much last year as well for quarterbacks. I think next year's supposed to be a little bit better for the quarterback position.
I
But
know Caleb Loams and the North Carolina kid, everyone's raving about for next year. But
yep.
you know,
but as you guys know too, like in these drafts with these, they're not quarterback rich. Somebody you will come out of it that's good that no one saw. So there will be some diamonds in the rough there. So don't.
Awesome for you, Richard, for teaching the youth football. That's awesome. Good job, man. That's not.
Oh, that's awesome, bro. That's so cool. No,
Yeah.
Richard, we give you props. Please come here to our show, share your thoughts with us, your opinions. Help us out. You see something during a Dolphins game that from your coaching aspects that you could share on our show, please bring it to the show. We love that kind of stuff here.
Yeah.
We're
unfortunately, it's a long time until the Dolphins play their next game, but
yeah, it is. It is.
I
See, look at that.
agree.
I agree.
Unfortunately, it's in society as in general, not just in football and all of that. It's just I agree. But
It's funny that he says that. I was in a spaces with a guy who's also a football coach, and he says he's noticed it's like a 30% drop in participation from what they used to get. Back in the day, everybody wanted to play football. Now no one wants to play no more. He had his parents coming up to him talking about how the game's unsafe and, you know, what can they do? Do they even want their kids to play anymore? A 30%, you guys, we're talking, that's kind of a lot. A 30% drop from what they used to get from now to then. So that means no one really wants to play football no more. The high school kids are shying away from it. They don't want to play. And I totally agree with Richard. My co-host, Reggie Brown, former NFL wide receiver, definitely agrees with this statement that the youth is softer than the guys of the past. The old school football players used to play in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. Those were the real stalwarts of the NFL game that you see now. They got hit and was like, hey, I think I got a concussion. And the coach would be like, oh, well, rub some dirt on it and get back out there. And we need a first down. It wasn't thought of like it is thought of today. Me and you, Rob, had Mike Webster's son on the show during the season and talked about CTE, talked about his dad, talked about how there's not a lot of information for them that the way there is now. They had more research into it now and CTE research than they did back then. I'm a little bit mad because I wish they had this for those guys then. The Junior Seau's, the Javon Belcher, Mike Webster, all the guys who have suffered these career-threatening injuries that it damages them for life. So
Yeah.
when you see
I
Barry
agree.
Sanders and Kelvin Johnsons and these guys retiring early, we can't knock them no more, man. We know why now.
Well, Richard, thank you.
Yep. Thanks,
Thank
Richard.
you so much for dropping by. Make sure you hit that subscribe button before you get back to work. So thank you so much. So Justin, on that ado, it's basically time to let's see. Hold on, real quick. I played with Lomé Brown, who played
Oh,
18
hell
years in
yeah,
the NFL,
bro.
and played against guys like
Dude,
Eddie Brown, who played
what,
for you.
Richard?
And
Please come back to the show and stop in and talk with us. I'd love to have you on the pro show. Talk with me, Reggie Brown, more about football back in the day. You played with Lomas Brown. Wow, that's amazing,
that's
bro.
awesome. And Eddie Brown,
Eddie
man, he was
Brown, yeah,
downtown Eddie
Jesus,
Brown.
wow.
So,
That's
uh,
crazy. That's great, man. I'd love to hear more stories from Richard. Like I could literally talk to Richard all damn day long about football.
yeah.
That's why I love it, man. Love it. Thank you, Richard.
Thank you, man. Thank
We
you. We
want
love
you
it.
over
Thank
here,
you,
buddy.
guys.
That's for sure. I
All
love
right. On
love
that
guys
good
like
note,
that.
I'm out of here, Justin, unless you
That's
have
right.
any final touches to say for the day, Justin.
I'll final touch for you guys. The Vic Fangio after the Super Bowl, we'll get it to the ink, and then we can move on to the new football season year. It's always fins up over here, and we'll have mad draft content starting for you guys rolling out here real soon. We're gonna start piling it on.
All right. Sounds good. On that note, then we're going to kick it out of here with a video, and we're out of here.
Deuces.